In the early 2000s, the competitive edge was being a coder. In the 2010s, it was being a great marketer. But today, none of that's enough. Platforms like Shopify and Meta have leveled the playing field. It's so easy now that even my mum, who's in her 60s, can spin up a successful dropshipping store overnight. Almost. The only real edge left is building a business that runs without you. And that means becoming what I like to call a business systems architect. Someone who installs systems that don't just live in a drive folder somewhere, but actually run the business without you involved in every step. Now, this isn't just another regurgitated YouTube video telling you to build systems. I'm showing you how to actually spot where one's missing, how to build it so it works without you, and how to kill the ones that are dragging your business down. And the truth is, this is the boring shit that works. I've scaled multiple e-commerce brands past 500,000K per month, not by chasing shiny hacks, but by building bulletproof systems that run without me. So if you're happy putting out fires all day, second guessing your team and waking up wondering what's fallen through the cracks again, this isn't a video for you. But if you're a dropshipper or e-commerce founder who's ready to step back from the chaos and actually build a business that runs for you, then you're in the right place. So if you're new here, g'day, my name is Matthew. I help e-commerce founders scale past $100,000 per month by turning chaos into clarity with real systems and team structure. Make sure you stick around until the end because I'll give you the exact 6-part framework I use to build systems that run without me, plus the quick test I use to know exactly when one's missing or broken. So for me, a system is simple. I define it like this: an action triggered by an event and controlled to create a specific, predictable outcome. And if that sounds mechanical, well, that's good. It should be. Because a system isn't just a checklist. It's a machine that brings specific parts of a business full circle in a repeatable, predictable manner. Here's what that looks like in real life. So every system in my business has 6 parts. A trigger, something that kicks it off. That might be a new order, a phone call from an upset customer, or maybe a product that's gone out of stock. Second, an action. What happens when it runs? What takes it from not done to done? Third, the control. What defines good versus bad? That's your checklist, your SOP, or your template. And fourth, an owner. One person who is responsible, not a group, not the whole team. 5, the cadence. When and how often it runs. If this isn't clear, it'll get done once and then it will get forgotten. And 6, the why. How does this fit into the bigger picture of your business? Is it needed or is it just fluff? So with these 6 parts working together, you've got a system that produces predictable outcomes, which is the framework of a solid, scalable business. Because anything less than that, it's just hope, right? You're relying on memory, luck, energy, and whatever else. But when these 6 parts of this structure are put into place, your business starts to run itself, not just function when you're there pushing all the buttons. And by the way, before I keep going, you can probably tell I don't think about high ticket e-commerce the same way as everybody else. So if you like the way I think about this stuff, make sure you give this video a like and a subscribe. It really helps the channel out a lot. So let me give you a few real world examples from our business. Our order fulfillment system gets triggered by a sale in our business. The action is triaging and sending the order to our 3PL. A checklist ensures accuracy and looks for any anomalies. And our sales manager owns that process and runs it daily via his team in the form of a ticket in Freshdesk, which is important, the why, because, well, orders are important to any e-commerce business, right? Or take our product master sheet. Every new product we have goes through this system before it gets created in Shopify. It's structured, owned, and runs on a rhythm to make sure products are listed correctly. They go into the right collections and are promoted in ads and email flows afterwards, not just get lost in the ether somewhere. But here's the catch. Just because you build that system doesn't mean it works. A system without real ownership is still likely to go off the rails. So let me show you what actually keeps it running. Back in my early days, I was super keen to get all the stuff I didn't enjoy doing off my plate. I'd shoot my team an email or jump on a call and explain what I was doing and say, all right, you're doing this now. Got it? And quite often they'd just nod at me, give me a clenched smile and say, yeah, got it. And then I'd move on thinking that I'd just freed myself up and I could lean back and live the easy life. But here's the truth. Half the time it got done perfectly because my team are just bloody amazing. And the other half, something completely different happened from what I thought would actually happen. Not because my team sucked, but because I didn't give them the structure they needed to succeed. There was no format, there was no rhythm, and there was no real key ownership. I thought I was delegating, but really I was just throwing tasks into the air and hoping someone would catch them. That's when it all clicked for me. A system isn't real until each of the 6 parts I just mentioned earlier are locked in. But the one that really makes the difference more than anyone else is the owner of that system. And it's not the team, it's not operations, it's one name, one person. And I call this person the champion of the system. Because without this one champion, systems fall apart. Individual ownership gives life and purpose to the system. This is a real difference between a system that you hope gets done and one that you know runs without you. But even the best system can turn into bottlenecks, especially when they're outdated. So one of the biggest problems I see in older businesses or ones that have been around for a little while isn't the lack of systems. It's running systems that no longer make sense. So at one point, they worked and they were necessary. But now they're just muscle memory. You're doing things because that's how we've always done it. Even if they're slowing you down, frustrating your team, or duplicating your work. It's like if your accountant wanted to fax over your tax return, right? You'd start questioning their entire operation. Every system should have a built-in review point in somewhere in time owned by the person who's running it. It's not your job to audit every SOP or process. That's the champion of that system's job. Their responsibility is to step back and ask, is this system still needed? Is it the best way? Can it be simplified, automated, or improved? And has anything changed upstream that makes this system now obsolete? So here's a real example from my business of when we caught something like this out. A little while ago, we upgraded to Shopify 2.0 or Shopify 2.0 theme, and we started using product metadata to organize collections rather than tags. We no longer needed to add tags to products whenever we uploaded them. But our content team's product upload SOP still said to add tags, right? So the add tags part of the system kept running, even though it wasn't needed anymore. Once we caught this, we killed the tag step and updated the SOP. And the rule here is that if a system isn't helping, it's just dead weight. And the person running it should be the one who spots it. But here's the real danger with outdated systems. They create system-dependent robots instead of lateral thinking humans. You want your team to follow SOPs, but not so rigidly that they lose their ability to think, adapt, or use good judgment. A good system is a guide rail, not a prison. It shows direction, but not every possible step. When systems go stale and people are trained to follow them without thinking, your business turns into a factory full of robots doing tasks that no longer even make sense. It's like when you call a business and hear someone read a script word for word. You can tell that they're not really there, right? Or worse, it's like a self-driving car that's gone off course, still following the programming, but failing in its ultimate goal of getting from A to B. And that brings us to the sharpest skill of all, knowing exactly when a system needs to exist in the first place. I've found that the clearest signal that you need a system is this. You expect a specific outcome, but you don't get it. And that's exactly what happened when I handed over importing to our business development manager in our team. Now, importing is something that I've been running myself for years. I was choosing the products to import, tweaking the cart design, negotiating freight, but most of it just lived in my own head. I just knew what to do because I understood the why and I could see where things were going. But when I handed it off, I didn't spell all those things out properly. I didn't give freight comparison process information or guidance on choosing which SKUs to import or reviewing the carton specs. My business development manager figured it out over time. She's bloody amazing. Through a few mistakes and some tight checkpoints from me, but it could have been much, much smoother. What was missing? The full 6-part system. A proper playbook that bridged the gap between what I expected and what actually got done. So if you're still stuck in the weeds, here's the simple system spotting tactic that I use. Anytime something is done in a way that's not what you expected, pause and take a deeper look. Ask yourself, was there a system behind this? And if not, does one need to exist? And if the answer is yes, is it outdated, unclear, or broken? Every unexpected result is a spotlight on the system behind it, or the lack of a system. So an author by the name of Derek Sivers did this brilliantly at CD Baby, a story he tells in one of my favorite books here called Hell Yeah or No. Now, I'm probably going to butcher this story, so sorry, Derek, but Derek said in his book that every time a situation popped up, he'd sit down with all the people involved, write out the SOP, and add it to their master playbook. Then eventually, over time, nothing landed on his plate anymore because every event had a system and it had an owner. That's the game. If you don't stop to identify where systems are missing, here's what happens. You spend your days pissed off at your team, you're putting out multiple fires, fixing mistakes, and wondering why no one just gets it. You're working in the business, not on the business. And that means growth stalls, opportunities get missed, and your best people start modeling your worst habits. They follow your lead naturally. So if you're chaotic and reactive, your whole team is going to eventually be too. So spotting system gaps isn't optional. It's how you break the operator cycle and start running a business, not just surviving one. Alrighty, so let's recap and bring this all together. If something in your business isn't going the way you expect, if you're constantly jumping in, fixing mistakes, or seeing things fall between the cracks, chances are the system behind it is either missing or broken. Here's the quick test to find out. Was the outcome what I expected? Did I have to jump in? Was anyone confused or delayed or doubling up? And is it likely to happen again? If you answer yes to any of those, then that's your signal. Time to build a system behind it. And you've now got the full blueprint, right? You've got the trigger. What kicks it off? Action, what happens when it runs? Control, what defines good versus broken? Owner, remember one name, one champion. Cadence, when it runs and how often does it run? And importantly, the why, how it fits into the big picture of your business. So hand it off clearly, add checkpoints to stay out of the weeds, and then let the system do its job. That's how you stop being the bottleneck and start being the architect of a business that actually runs without you, for you. Now, trust me when I say this, you don't need any more hacks in your ecom business. You need a machine that runs without you, and this is how you build it. And if you want the full picture of how all this fits into the bigger strategy, then watch my breakdown of the exact 5-step system I used to scale past $500,000 per month in my high-ticket e-commerce business. It covers everything from evolving your mindset to importing your own branded products and replacing yourself, and then building the exact systems we just spoke about here. Plus, there is a bonus step that will supercharge your business that nobody else is talking about. That is the full blueprint, and you can watch it right here.